When people tell you that the road is coming to an end, remember that there's a vending machine right there with special chocolate to help you go on the journey. May the Almighty help you get more chocolate from the vending machine. I could do that, and we could amass a huge number of followers and cheaters and clappers, and people can say, "Oh, Abu Mus'ab, mashallah, finally, you're no longer this rigid, difficult, strict Salafi." بل الواجب على العبد أن يعتبر الناس بالحق وينظر إلى الحقائق الشرعية ويزن بها الناس. Rather, it is incumbent on the slave to assess people as per the truth and to look at the حقائق الشرعية, the realities of the legislation, and to weigh the people accordingly. ولا يزن الحق بالناس كما عليه من لا علم له ولا عقل له. And he should not weigh or assess the truth based on people as it is the case with those who have no knowledge and have no intellect. And brothers and sisters, please allow me to take a small time out and connect this to contemporary reality of the da'wah and the Muslim ummah, where we have been duped into believing that the mass number of followers of a particular individual is a sign of them being accepted by Allah and that they are upon the truth. And otherwise, how could all these people be deceived and deluded and be confused about the truth? We could give a lecture right now, but we're not gonna, because we've done that in the past. We could cite ayat from the book of Allah and a hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and athar from the Sahaba, all of which actually are in line with the idea that the larger the number, the more likely it is that you are off and misguided. That numbers actually don't mean anything. If anything, numbers could mean a problem. When you are accepted by so many people, meaning you are compromising something for this acceptance to be acquired. Otherwise, just like Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam was rejected by Quraysh and the Kuffar and the kings that he sent messages to, the Persians and the Romans and others, like for example, An-Najashi accepted, but the majority of them rejected, and that the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah will be a group of people, one sect from among 73, and that the Jama'ah is whatever is in line with the truth, even if you are by yourself, as Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu said, or Allah says in the Quran, وَإِن تُطِعْ أَكْثَرَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ يُضِلُّكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And if you obey the majority of the people on earth, they will mislead you from the path of Allah. I'm not going to cite all the evidences, but for you today to say, oh, look at X person, Y person has 1 million followers, 500,000, I don't know how many 100,000, it means they're doing something right and good. No. It means Allah loves them. No. It means they're upon the truth. No. Because we don't assess and weigh people according to the numbers. Rather, it's the other way around. We look at the al-haqa'iq al-shar'iyya, the legislative matters, the truth of the legislation, the commitment to the legislation. How much do you adhere to the Quran and the Sunnah in spite of resistance, in spite of objection, in spite of being hated, in spite of being called names and Zionist and sellout and munafiq and bootlicker and kafir and murtad and zandiq adi. No matter what, you have principles, you're going to stick to these principles. You're not going to say, okay, let me just change to make everybody happy. Come on, I need more followers. If I were to change the tone and make a video about the virtue of protesting, and that protesting is a matter of difference of opinion, and then, why don't we just boycott on a mass level and impose it on people and do takfir of those who don't boycott certain brands? And why don't I just go with the trend? Why don't I have a new Twitter page called Loving the Almighty, where every day I leave these tweets? When people tell you that the road is coming to an end, remember that there's a vending machine right there with special chocolate to help you go on the journey. May the Almighty help you get more chocolate from the vending machine. I could do that, and we could amass a huge number of followers and cheaters and clappers, and people can say, oh, Abu Mus'ab, mashallah, finally, you're no longer this rigid, difficult, strict Salafi. You've opened up finally. Now we'll accept you, like Yasir Qadi. Yasir Qadi was really like a stern, and then all of a sudden he started to let go and let go and let go until he let go of everything. Now he's just like a complete sellout secularist, a modernist, barely connected to Islam. Barely connected to Islam. That's what's going on. But we don't care. That was not our objective. And the Sheikh said the people who use this standard, like, oh, look at your channel, you've been around for 10, 15 years, you only have X amount of followers, but Fulan has only been there for 2 years, he has that many followers. The Sheikh said these are the people who have no ilm and no aql, no knowledge, no mind, no intellect. It's horrible.